Hello, Warrior TV. Steve Knapp here, the Mindset Warrior, coming at you with episode 3 of the Hour of Mindfulness. This week, I've got the pleasure in bringing on another fellow warrior, our amazing creative warrior, Dorota. We're going to be talking about all things creative. Not my strongest suit, but Dorota's all over it, and she's got a great book that she's written that we're going to discuss and have plenty of other things. So I'm just going to do the quick countdown and bring her on. We'll see you shortly. Dorota, hello. Thanks so much for coming on with us tonight. Or today, your time.
Hello. Yes. The difference in time is a bit puzzling sometimes, isn't it?
It is. I think we're all slowly getting used to it because we're on so often these days, but it still takes a little while to click sometimes when I think Adam might be watching. I think he needs to remember that 4:10 in the morning when he rings me, I'm probably asleep, but he forgets what time difference it is.
Oh, well, easily done. Before you calculate, you're already dialing.
Yeah, that's it. It's always on silent. So, Dorota, I would love to know what brought you to the Mental Health Warriors. How did you find your way here?
Actually, Adam found me, being honest. He approached me some time ago and asked me to come on his show, and I did. And it was a great success. We had a great audience. And we talked about self-care, and I told him a bit of my story and audience the story. This is how it all started.
Brilliant. That resonates a lot with me. I think I've got a very similar story there.
Yeah, Adam is a headhunter.
Yeah, very much so. And you're renowned as our creative warrior. Do you want to let everybody know a bit about how your creative side's evolved? I know you've done a few things a lot more recently. It hasn't been something you've done your whole life.
Yes, although I was perceived as a talented child, I could draw, above average. I wasn't allowed into art school, so I rebelled and abandoned art completely for most of my life. I only did, little crafts and arts with my children. Every mother does that. I lived with depression since I was in my youth and had several breakdowns on the way. However, the last one was a massive one. I had an awful trauma associated with giving birth, spiraled down into postnatal depression, had a PTSD thanks to a medical negligence. It was just by chance that I was directed to some art sessions by a lovely charity that really saved me, called Mum's Aid. And during those sessions, something opened up in me. And I started to pour art like crazy, to the extent that it spooks me till now, that, it comes so effortlessly and so much of it, and I never ever, thought that I'm able to depict some state of mind where people appreciate and felt understood. So my journey started in March 2019. And since then, it was a roller coaster of how many things I've done and how many things I engaged in. Here I am, calling myself the artist.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So do you think that opportunity that came about totally out of the blue was just an opportunity for the real you inside to come out and explore these creative pursuits?
I think so. I even had an excessive chat with my therapist at some point because I couldn't understand how happening, where these are coming from, why I am suddenly feeling so able to do them, and it was made, the suggestion was made that maybe for whole my life I was suppressing the creative urges because, as a single parent at some point, the main breadwinner, everything was more important than my person and my needs. So I was suppressing those urges. And when I allowed them to come out, then the volcano erupted,
Yeah, all these years of pent-up creativity exploding all at once.
Yeah, indeed.
And your artistic ways cover many different areas, don't they? I know, like you paint, you write. What else do you do?
Yes, I paint, I doodle, I write novels, but also poetry. I express myself in all possible through all possible channels, really, depending what is available at the moment. Like at this point I'm at work, so I don't have supplies, so something comes to me, I will probably just doodle or write things down and then explore it at later stage. But I am influenced mainly by state of mind, my thoughts, my demons that haunt me, and the certain experiences that are difficult to cope with. So I have published 3 books. The first one was Mental Health in Pictures, which depicts my journey with mental health and shows those states and emotions and struggles through the pictures and my poetry. This is supposed to be, however, my second book, but because my exhibition, my first solo exhibition ever, was down due to lovely lockdown, I got a bit crossed, that not everyone that I wanted could come and see it. So I turned it into the book. Apparently not very common thing to do by artists, but I am not a conventional artist, okay? I am reborn artist, so I don't care what norms we are having and what rules. I'm doing what I want to do. And the book is titled Notes from Postnatal Depression Healing Through Art. And that particular book is the journey of my early stages through art therapy, how I was using images and words and poetry to express and deal with struggles associated with postnatal depression, anxiety associated with parting from my baby, because I developed a very strong bond with my baby and was petrified even to do ordinary things like go take shower, because I was petrified that something will happen to me or to her while I'm doing that. So that book explores that early journey. And because I'm a bit of academic geek, I love science and I love searching, the proper roots of how things happen. That book also has an excessive section about depression, in particular postnatal depression, healing through art, and there is a bit of my personal story attached to it. And then, believe it or not, although I was already in a very bad state mentally, then I was hit by grief. My dad passed in first lockdown, and whoever experienced any bereavement can understand how difficult it is as it is. But imagine not being able to say goodbye and, give a last cuddle to your beloved dad, because my dad was my hero. He was everything to me. And I couldn't travel, I had to watch his cremation on little screen, which was heartbreaking. And I suffer a great deal. Bereavement and grief is something that I'm still going through, and I don't think we understand it till we go through it. I expected it as being, you go through the stages, and then you are all right, nothing as such. You are consumed by the tsunami of different stages and different emotions that just toss you at the most unexpected moment. Yeah. And because, grief and losing my dad was extremely difficult to me to talk about with my children, for example. I have 2 teenagers and a toddler. There is even such story that my toddler was there starting to speak properly and build first sentences. And of course, imagine my luck, the first sentence ever spoke by my daughter was, "Mommy is crying."
It's the sign. It is just such. It's the time, isn't it? Like, it's just the worst time to try to be expressing all the great positive emotions to a child when you're not living, when you don't get the chance to live them.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was thinking, like, how can I, what positive I can get out of this nightmare, because, losing my dad is absolute nightmare to me. And I was thinking, I can't really talk with my children about what I feel, because I burst into tears, and I don't want them to see me in that state, because what's the point of having a meaningful conversation when I can't even articulate any words, because I'm sobbing. Yeah. So I said, okay, let's write about it. So I wrote a poem that is a kind of dialogue. There's a conversation between 2 characters, which are animals. As children, it's believed that children are, relating better to characters that are animals. It's less threatening, mostly when it's a kind of topic that might pose threats. So the book is called The Land of Eternal Hands. And like I said, there are 2 cats. One is a youngster and the other one is the eldest wise one. And
I love this.
I illustrated it as well. So one is called, the wise one is called Black, and the younger brother is called Ginger, due to the color of the fur. And really, it is the dialogue about, getting old and eventually passing away. So very sad topic. However, there is this religion, talk about, and they want to know more, and they ask why, but how, they are so exquisite, aren't they, in finding the information. So the same is Ginger. Ginger is noticing that Black is going a bit gray, it's what happening.
Oh, no. I feel like Black.
Questions like connect to natural Black. Yeah, and they have so they are having this conversation about the process that we all get old at some point, and there are some, visible signs of it, which is fine, but and that at some point will pass away. Ginger obviously gets a bit saddened by it and a bit upset, because he doesn't want to lose his brother. So he starts asking questions, but why, how this will happen? Where will you go? Who will come for you, And Black tries to answer those questions as honestly as he can, but obviously he doesn't have those answers. He can just tell him what he thinks, and he was told by his ancestors. So they dwell on it, and at some point, Black sends a very, very important message. And this is the message that my dad very often tried to pass to me and my sister, that, you need to live now. There is no point worrying about grief. That will come eventually. We don't know when, but it will. But why worrying about it now? Let's live. Let's build memories, because what's important, that those memories are the greatest comfort to you when you lose someone.
Yeah, I love that. That is the most, it's so simplistic a message, but so important and underrated in everyday society. We're always looking so far ahead of where things are at, rather than just really embracing life for what it is and enjoying every possible moment, because it's such a lifetime is so short. I'm sure if we have any young people watching this, they think that life goes on forever. But I know when you start getting towards middle age, you realise that it's gone like that so far. And I presume if I live this long again, it's going to be just as quick, if not quicker. So we've got to embrace every moment that comes our way and make the most of it.
Exactly. And, nature very often, is a great surrounding for building those memories. I am flooded when I think about my dad, the time we spent in the woods, about, because of him, I love nature, I love us, and I love woods and whatsoever. And, I'm trying to even do that and pass that message to my children, saying like, let's not worry about tomorrow. Let's what we have now in front of us. We are at the seaside. Let's enjoy it. Let's worry about traveling back at a later point. It is not easy, because you know what, we are conditioned by society and by system we are living to chase our tails, look forward a lot. The bills we need to pay, with the promotions we are expecting, with and whatsoever you name them, we are conditioned, and we are like those Pavlov's dogs that react to the bell. Yeah. Oh my God, have a deadline, and worrying about it already. While mindfulness and living in the moment is this what we need? Because that moment is now. We don't know if hour will happen. The bus could hit next 5 minutes, and maybe I will not make it to an hour. So let's embrace this, what we are doing now.
I love it. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I really like, because I had a bit of a look on the background of the book and saw when I saw about Black and Ginger, I'm like, what a brilliant way to tie in a story of pain, but flip it around to a story of hope and make it for younger generations to have an real easy, comfortable way to understand without it being overbearing or terrifying. They've got characters that they can relate to easily and then just flow along with the journey with them. It was brilliantly done.
Exactly. And, it's a great open, because there are topics that we dread as parents or carers to talk about with children, because either they are very emotionally draining and difficult for us, or we don't know the answers, right? Because we don't know what happens after somebody dies, do we? Unless, you are a psychic and can perhaps access some, wisdom there. So providing children with reading resource that it's light enough is a great opener. So if the children experience any loss, and it doesn't need to be somebody close to them, like a parent or grandparent. It could be even loss of a pet. How traumatizing this is to children, understanding what has happened. So exactly. So talking with about those is very important. And that is why I created, because I felt so greatly starting the conversation about my dad passing with my children, that writing that book somehow let me open the channel. I am less emotional when talking about it and saying, look, let's not focus on this, that he passed. Let's think about how funny he was, about his jokes. He was such a funny man, very sarcastic and a bit sexist, I must say, but he had a great sense of humor. He was a great character. So whenever we talk about my dad with my children, I'm trying to say, do you remember that? Do you remember this? Think about that. What did this us? So this helps a great deal, and every child who goes through bereavement very often focus about that passing, that loss, and the pain. And of course, it doesn't hurt less. Don't get me wrong, but recalling those memories is a great comfort, and this is how to help children go through bereavement.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's amazing. mine are all getting a bit older now, but I still think if that was something that came across our paths, I'd happily steer them in that direction, because I just see so much merit in it. And I think even adults, that was one thing I wanted to ask. How did writing the book and going through the process and looking at those memories help you going through the grieving phase and sort of getting things down on paper? And I suppose you'd get all of those memories, like the great memories, would be coming up in your mind while you're writing it as well.
Yes. It was an amazing process, because don't get me wrong, I sobbed like a child when I was writing it and rereading it and editing it and thinking about those memories. There was a bit of sadness, of course, involved, but also a great how to say it, blessing, because my dad taught me all that. My dad taught me about living in a moment and looking at the nature and living as a part of it, and such a great gift that I am left with, So yes, the process of writing is amazing. I also engage in a process of creating excessive art during the very early stage when I lost that. So there will be another book coming at some point, and another exhibition of the art titled Into the Woods, because that was so closely linked to to nature, and myself spent hours and hours of my childhood in the woods. So I painted woods and trees actively, emotions attacked, and this will be a book for adults about my story that involves. But don't get me wrong, that one, I had the pleasure to read it because I run those workshops when I get invited into schools or groups of children where I read that story. And adults were amazingly engaged. And when it came to the questions, it was like adults were firing most questions. So it's like for children, really adults can relate to it.
Perfect. It makes sense. I mean, I know personally, I'm deep down, I'm still a child. So anything that has a childlike theme, I can tap into really easily. I haven't grown up yet. I'm still in Peter Pan land.
That's good. I think that we should cherish a child within us. And we forget about how to be a child, how to just get lost in a moment and play. And these are the factors that contribute to mindfulness, aren't they? Just this kind of freedom of, intensified feelings when feeling joy and playing, But as adults, we are told that we don't have really much time to play. So
yeah, make the most of every. It's amazing how much fun we'll have when we think no one's watching. You'll sing like a rock star in the car or the shower. You'll dance around the lounge room. And just connecting with that inner child and loving just that unbridled passion to do things. But as soon as we think someone's watching and we're not normal and that's not okay, can't do it anymore. It's amazing. Just go for it. Have fun. Jump around, sing, dance, jump in puddles. If that's what you feel like it's going to make your day, just go for it, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly. Just watch toddlers. Toddlers have no boundary, right? Look how happy they when they jump into those puddles, right?
Yeah.
And try to join them, because they infect you with the glee they experience. I love spending time with my toddler. When she's just giggling all the time and contagious. Even if I'm a bit sad or down, her giggles always cheer me up.
Yeah, it's like the tonic to fix everything, isn't it? When they're so young, as soon as it's just infectious straight away.
Exactly. And I think this is what we need for our mindfulness, and to open our life to mindful life is go down to our level for at least 10 minutes a day when nobody's watching. Do something silly, splash those paints, I don't know, blow bubbles, whatever comes to your mind. Just imagine that for 10 minutes a day, you are a toddler and you are allowed to play and do it.
Yeah, go for it. No inhibitions. Just go do anything. It doesn't matter what. It'll be great for the mind and the soul. And how's your toddler? Is your toddler looking like she's going to follow with an artistic flair as well? How does she go when she gets into the finger painting and playing around with all that sort of stuff?
Oh my God. She is, we know that toddlers learn by observing, right? So she sees me constantly engaged in creative process. So we had to get her the easels and paper and all possible supplies. So she engages alongside, and she loves it. And to the extent that it's very fun. I was busy cooking and I didn't notice that she accessed my work diary. So I now have a lovely agenda.
That's brilliant. I love it. What a colourful day you've got on there.
Yeah. So thank God she chose the empty page, not the page I had notes on.
Oh, I love it. That's brilliant. Oh, Kerry's just joined us. Hi, Kerry. Thanks for watching. So what other paintings have you been doing lately? I saw one brilliant one that you shared with us not so long ago that was amazing. And I love how you said that a lot of what you paint's tied in through life experience and all those sort of things that come through you over time. Is there any other exciting ones you're in the middle of at the moment, or got any thoughts coming up for what you'll be doing shortly?
Well, I am engaging in projects recently. One, I illustrate a book for a wonderful individual who wrote a wonderful poem that is an affirmation of the word books and reading and how to help your mental health when you just dive into fantasy, actually bullied the individual to let me illustrate his book because he didn't plan to publish it, but I just bullied him that this needs to come out to the world because it's amazing story. So I'm almost finishing illustration, so there will be the editing process and putting it into publishing, which will take a moment, but this is coming and I'm telling you, it's great. We need to get him on the show at some point when it's ready.
Definitely.
The other big project I'm working on is I will be producing 3 to 5 series, depending of time. It may prolong for longer than anticipated. But it's the analogies that people with lived experience of mental health used to describe how it feels to have depression. I'm doing it for a Time to Change hub. One of the hubs, they are now called differently because of Time to Change dissolved and longer. However, this will be exhibited and it will be also turned into short videos. So I'm going to produce an artwork to illustrate the analogy, and the champion will give voice to that analogy. Very exciting, a bit scary, But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. What a great concept. How long's that been in the works?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I just now in the process of, getting resources and having funds to engage with the project. So I'm starting probably this weekend, and I'm hoping it will be ready for the mental health day in October. But depending, we all live busy lives, so I need to rely on the champions telling me that story and then putting it into action. So everything depends on timing. But I hope that it will be ready, and obviously then I will share it with you. Yeah, there is one more project that I was hoping to get ready for the mental health day, but had to put it aside for a moment, as I bullied that individual to illustrate his book, so I didn't want him to wait when I'm doing another project, so gave that one the priority. But I have wrote another story for children about depression. And it will be, again, there will be an animal character trying to explain how she feels and what helped to out of the dark void. So this will be illustrated as next, and hope, we'll get to be live soon.
Yeah, I think that's great. Like, there's, especially now, there's so many children that are starting to come across depression, unfortunately, that I've never seen anything like it before now. And I think it's amazing that there's people like you that are putting stories together for them that make it easy to understand, and it's starting the conversation so much earlier than we ever have before. I think is becoming really, really important, so that we can make sure that these kids are feeling heard. Because I could imagine, I know, being almost 40 and realizing how long I'd had depression for, that I could imagine if I was 14 or younger, I would be totally oblivious to why do I feel like this, and the hopelessness and helplessness. It's just getting that conversation out there, and hopefully from them being able to read a book and feel comfortable, that will allow them to find a space to open up a bit more themselves.
Exactly, because from my own experience, I had my first onset of depression when I was 15, right? And back then, I'm now also in my 40s. Nobody believed that children can have any ill mental health. It was like it was a kind of abuse behavior rather than struggle. I was told that it's like, but what problems do you have anyway? Everything is provided for you, food on the table, you have school and whatsoever. So I couldn't speak about it with anyone. And I was thinking that I'm going insane. And, I fortunately found the solace and academic life. So this was overshadowing my struggles, because nobody even suspected that I was in such a bad state. But so many means that it's positive turn into antisocial behavior, turn into substance abuse, because they feel so lonely in their dark moment. While, only way to get out of this dark void is to talk about it, to find someone who understands, to find someone who will hold you for the time being you are there and let you slowly lift yourself up.
Yeah, perfectly said. And it's going to be the requirements for these conversations, and people that have the ability to be that person that can listen and just provide that space. It's needed more than ever. And this is every age bracket, from young children all the way to people in their 90s, hundreds, fighting these battles together. So the more that we can find every single person imaginable that has that listening quality, I promise you don't have to be a coach, a counselor, trained in anything. You just have to use your ears more than your mouth and just hold space, and you can make a world of difference to someone that's struggling with any of these demons.
Exactly. And you know what's the funny aspect of it? That so many are petrified to talk about mental health because they don't know what to say, they don't know what to do. Actually, you don't need to do anything. If we open to anyone about struggles, we don't want you to fix. We know that you can't. We don't need to, because there is no advice that can help really. Because our experiences are so unique and feelings are so strong. Sometimes we just want someone to be. I find it that sometimes I don't even talk about it. I'm living with my demons, constantly, day after day, hour after hour. And sometimes I just don't want to talk about it. I want to have a nice coffee and talk about some nonsense to take my mind away from those struggles. And this helps a lot.
Yeah, I've always found that too. Unleash anything. I think as long as you're letting that energy flow out of the body in whatever form it is, it's something that isn't pent up, and you're allowing that to release out. And if anyone's prepared to listen, I'll throw dad jokes in left, right, and center. All the real corny, dodgy ones that the kids hate. But it makes me feel really good looking at their faces going, "Oh, Dad, that's a really bad joke." I'm like, "Yes, got you again. I loved it." Just that helps me heaps.
Yeah. Humor is great. Of course, we need to be careful with the humor that not everybody may understand. So our loved ones usually understand our way of being and our humor, and it works wonders. However, for the strangers, if you don't know them very well, I would be skeptic of using humor in case you offend them in a way, or their beliefs. Yeah.
Yeah, spot on.
But I actually produce a link. I will produce a short video about what to say and what not to say when engaging in conversations about mental health. So when this is, when I rewatch it, go to the rewatch, I will put the link there. And that video is illustrated by my artwork. So I talk alongside showing some art pieces that relate to those aspects.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a good one. Oh, I want to see that. We need to do a pause, slot it in now, and then we can talk about it. No, that'll be awesome to see.
Yes.
How long ago did you make that one?
The delay is at some point a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I start to speak. It's so funny.
I'll try to just keep leaving gaps for you so you can go talk as much as you like.
Well, I am a chatterbox, so yeah.
Perfect. That's how we like it on the show.
Exactly. So yeah, I can actually share with you another illustration from the book, which is my most favorite one.
Excellent. Oh yeah, nice. Good close up of Black's eye.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is actually that because Ginger asked some very difficult questions. So old black tomcat looked forward wistfully while his orange eyes shined mindfully.
Oh, nice. I love it. And how much value do you think, like, when we just go back to the kids for a little while, I know, like, something I haven't done a lot of, but I want to, like, I'm not big on journaling and those sort of things as much as I want to get into it. It's just something that I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but how important do you think it is for kids now to start just getting the thoughts out on paper, writing whatever sort of comes their way, just to get the thoughts out of the head and more centralized onto being able to focus on other things? How important do you find that now?
I think it's crucial. It's like there is so much focus on children doing the academic work, doing the workshop, doing the homework, doing the silly spelling, with some odd words that even parents can't come up with the sentence that includes them. While there is no talking within and naming, recognizing the feelings, finding out what they like. Although this green paper now issued by government trying to put mindfulness and mental health awareness into schools, this is what I'm worried about, that it will be very much a lecture-wise approach, just telling them about things, while I think that children should practice and experience aspect of life that they wouldn't experience otherwise. So letting them to find a passion in their life, a safe place to go to when they struggle. So I hope that this happens in some way, but this is what we can do as parents, certainly, allowing children to take the emotions out, to allow them to speak about it, express them in whatever way. Of course, some of the expressions are a bit setting to parents. I have a toddler in the stage of tantrums, so I know how difficult it is to deal with. But we remember that whatever behavior children and more children express is a form of communication, and we can shape it to take form of more meaningful conversation and communication channel, but they need to first get the skills to be there, to get there. So I always say, do not deny the feelings in your children. When the child falls over and hurts themselves, don't say, oh, nothing happened. Bullshit. Something happened, just over and grazed my knee and it hurts, right? Don't tell me nothing happened, because you are then denying what I'm feeling. You are telling me that the hurt and pain I feel is not valid. Acknowledging, oh, I'm so sorry, you fell, you feel pain. Let me give you a cuddle. What could I do to make you feel better? This is the way forward. So children can open up to us, express their feelings without the fear of being judged and silenced. Because there is nothing worse as an adult, we know, when sad and cry, or women maybe more often than men, but they are often saying, oh, stop crying. And what I do then, I cry even more. Because how dare you tell me to stop the expression that helps me with my emotions?
Yeah, so right. And it is those taught behaviors when we're so young of, you do get trapped in a fear of judgment your whole life through, because, oh, if I do this, my memory tells me that's wrong. If I go that way, no, I was told I can't do that either. If I say this, then I'm being weak. If I say that, then I'm being rude. Like, you get so many barriers and labels thrown at you growing up that by the time you're an adult, you don't know what you should say, how you should act, where you should turn, or what you should do at any stage.
what happened? You got conditioned. Right? You got conditioned and stereotyped into thinking that way. That if you do that, you are perceived as weak. But it's nonsense. So if we want a change at the global rate, we need to change and build the for our children, them. It's okay to talk about feelings. It's okay to open up. It's okay to ask for help. It's on the contrary, asking for help is not a symbol of weakness. It is a symbol of courage.
Yeah, it's strength and power. It's the most powerful word in the English language is help, because we all need it. There's no weakness in saying, I'm struggling here, can you give me a hand? It's totally weak to go, I can do everything on my own. Like you're some sort of hero. It doesn't. You've got to ask for help, because we're all stronger working together than we are as a single individual just trying to fight our way through everything.
Exactly. Carrying that heavy rock on your shoulders is very heavy. So why not sharing the burden with somebody who is willing to help? And I think that, the situation of help is always win-win. Not always only the person who is in question receives the help, feels, appreciated, loved and cared for, but the person who gives that help feels empowered too. There is excessive research how helping others help yourself and make it and feelings to be uplifted.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. I find quite often that with any of my coaching clients that we get to the end of the session, I'm sure 9 times out of 10 I feel better than they did after it. Just from listening and allowing them to get everything out that they need to get out. I come out going, yep, I feel great. That was fantastic. They feel great. I feel great. The world's a happier place for a certain period of time. It's a magic how that reciprocating feeling goes around. Just giving's receiving, receiving's giving, and it all sort of comes back to you somewhere along the line.
Exactly. I
think we need more of it. Need to be more giving in the world. It makes life much more enjoyable. I think we get caught up in this fast-paced reality of and all that. It's not good.
Yeah. It's not, we hardly have any moment to stop and think and reflect, so like I said, my only advice is finding your passion, because if you have a passion, you not only will be driven to engage in it because it's your passion, love it, but also it gives you the space to be in that moment and to do something for yourself, because it's so important to make sure that we look after ourselves. I, as mother, as parent, as a main breadwinner, I'm always at the bottom of the priority list. It's just recently, it's about 6 months when I had another, deep in my mental health, when I said, you know what, that's it. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to do this and that for myself. And even if I have to do it on my own, I will, because I enjoy it and I want to have that experiences. Because we always wait for someone, like, we wait for our partner to do something with them, but they are too busy, and we delay things, And at some point we are like with my dad. He passed suddenly. And then there was no more to plan with him, right? We can do any more memories. So, it's like, we need to do things with our loved ones, don't get me wrong. But if there is something in particular that you enjoy, you don't need to wait for anyone. you can, like I did recently, I went to the candlelight classical music concert completely on my own. Because first of all, I know that my partner does not enjoy it much. And secondary, I waited enough to do it with anybody who wanted and nobody volunteered. So I gone on my own. And you know what? I enjoyed it. It was a great alone time with beautiful music.
I think we undervalue a lot about things that you can go out and do just on your own. It's always like, oh, I couldn't do that. Someone's got to come with me. I mean, my best mate at home, he quite often he'll go to the cinema and watch a movie on his own because he goes, oh, none of the kids want to watch that movie. The wife doesn't want to watch that movie. I was doing nothing at home all day. So he just goes, gets his popcorn, gets his drink, and he just watches a movie by himself. And he says it's great. There's no one chatting in his ear. He just sits there in peace and enjoys himself. It's great.
Yeah, and why not? It's like, who said that we need to do things that, we enjoy with another person who might enjoy it fully? You know what I mean? Like you said, because this wasn't the movie that his wife or children would enjoy. So there is nothing worse than going with someone to an event that you are for, you are excited and you love it, and then looking to the side and thinking, oh my God, he's so bored. Oh my God. And then you are not taking that experience in. You are feeling guilty that you drag them along and they are bored or want to just, take off.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. And it's like, seems like so many of us even have trouble grasping the concept of being alone for anything. It's like you've got to have the ability to enjoy your own space and be with yourself, because if you can't enjoy your own company alone, doing things you enjoy, it's very difficult to expect other people to love what you do and love your company. If you can't love yourself and enjoy your own passions, it's hard to expect anyone else to.
It's the should start yourself. So when you love your wife or love, your partner, you not necessarily love everything about them, every little bit. There are things that annoy you. There might be things that make you a bit upset. There might be some mannerisms that drive you nuts. It's normal. So why would you expect from yourself to be pure and lovable by yourself fully? No, it's okay that some aspects of you annoy you and some aspects of you are not as you would like to, but it doesn't mean that you don't love those partners and wives, right? You love them, adore them dearly. So try to, transfer that love to yourself as well.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so right. No one can love every single individual part of every other person. You've got to just accept that there's going to be some things they love and you don't. There's going to be quite a few things that you love and they don't. And that's not the end of the world. That just frees up your alone time. You can do what you want to do while they do what they want to do, and then you come together and do something together. Everyone wins.
Indeed.
I think that, it's the easiest way to be. You don't have to focus on what you can get out of someone else. Just let them enjoy their life, enjoy your own, and be present as much as possible. And I think we're on the right path to enjoying the rest of our lives. Don't go looking for things that aren't there. Don't get caught up in ambition. Just live a meaning-driven life, and you don't have these big ups and downs and everything. You can just gradually have a nice little trajectory through things and be peaceful and happy.
Yeah, indeed, because mindfulness is about living now. You have that you are facing. If you approach yourself I retire that, or when the academic year finish, I will do that. Whatever it is, yes, it's great if you can, and this time comes and you can engage. But what if? So get that notebook from your drawer and start writing that novel. Look at the prices for flights to destination you dream to go. Do it now, because we never know what happens tomorrow.
I love that. That's a brilliant way to sign things off. Like, we're almost done, not quite, but just, tomorrow's not promised. Don't waste what you can do today looking ahead to tomorrow, because one day tomorrow doesn't come. So make the most of every day that you've got ahead, because every day is precious.
Yeah.
And you've just got to celebrate it and enjoy it as much as possible.
Indeed. And mindfulness is about that, isn't it? About embracing the moment, finding the pause when you can intake some good energy, whatever is happening to you.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it. Well, just to finish off, Dorota, where can people find your books, your artwork, everything that you've got going on? Is there any easy way to find all of that, or would you be able to share a link in the comments once we're done?
Yes, I can share the link, but follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and on each of the social media I have a link tree there that lists all the things that I have done so far, including the books and where to find them. However, on Amazon, if you search by my name and surname, you will find those books. If you have trouble finding, feel free to approach me via social media, and I will point you to the direction.
Yes, perfect. Come to either of us, and we'll definitely send you where you need to go to find out all of Dorota's amazing work, and not just what's already been. We've heard so much about all the exciting, awesome things that are coming from you in the not too distant future as well, that are going to be amazing. I can't wait to see all this stuff. And I'm going to go back, because there was that couple of those things that I hadn't noticed you'd done before. So I'm looking forward to doing a bit of digging later on and having a bit more of a read myself.
Sure, yeah. I am like an open book. I was silent for many, many years, but at some point decided that, enough is enough. So I am open about my story. I share a lot, because I think that by sharing our stories, we help others who may not be yet ready, but because they hear our stories, they feel less alone.
Yeah, 100%. I feel exactly the same way. Share away, because there'll be one person out there that really hits home with, that goes, yep, I feel that. That's where I've been. I'm glad you're sharing. I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. It's just share away. It's worth its weight in gold.
Indeed.
Beautiful. Now, a quick plug for the show tomorrow. We have, I wrote it down, 1 p.m. UK time. So that's a late one for myself and my Aussie friends. That's 10 p.m. for us. But we have the premiere of the Music is Medicine show with the lovely Abigail and Robin. So tune into that, everybody. That'll be an awesome, awesome new show that we'll have kicking off tomorrow. And as always, anyone who'd love to be part of any of our shows, got a story to tell, be interviewed, anyone who wants to be part of the Power Hour of Mindfulness, please reach out to any of us, because we'd love to have more and more people sharing their stories. And at the bottom, you'll always see If anyone would like to make a donation, which would be greatly appreciated, goes towards all the funding that happens around making all of this happen, you can find us down the bottom of the screen there for the PayPal link. So that is it from us. Dorota, thank you so much for spending an hour with me. You've been amazing as always and provided so much value. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on board.
Thank you. Likewise. Pleasure chatting to you.
Awesome. And to everyone who's tuned in, watching us live and watches on the replay, thank you so much as well. That is it from us. I won't be back again until I think Sunday night. I'm going to have a few days off. And thank you again so much for watching. Dorota for joining us. And we will both see you guys very soon. Bye.